Salma Hayek, the actress who has shined in Hollywood for years, also has a private list of colleagues she would never work with again. While some of them are big-name stars, behind the scenes they showed attitudes Salma hasn't forgotten, including instances of discrimination over her Mexican heritage. What looks like a career filled with success also hides disappointments and silences that speak volumes. This list, though never made public, has circulated within her close circle, and now it's blowing up on social media. 1. Reese Witherspoon. While many assume Reese and Salma are friends because they've appeared together at events and in campaigns, their professional relationship was far from smooth. During a series they co-produced in 2020, Salma noticed her ideas weren't given the same respect as Reese's. In meetings, Reese would interrupt, give orders without consulting, and at one point even told Salma, "You handle the Latino stuff, I'll take care of the rest." With her trademark grace, Salma didn't confront her publicly, but made it clear she'd never work with her again as a creative partner. 2. Katherine Heigl. In 2015, they were both cast in a legal drama about two lawyers with opposing views who eventually learned to respect each other. But off-screen, things didn't go that way. Katherine already had a reputation for being difficult, and Salma confirmed it. During filming, Heigl demanded script changes, wanted more screen time, and dismissed Salma's input in creative meetings. At one point, in front of the director, she said, "This would work better if it was just my story." Salma didn't argue, but set a condition to finish the movie. She would not shoot any more scenes with Katherine without a mediator present. The production agreed, but the atmosphere became tense. The movie ended up going unnoticed, and Salma has never spoken publicly about Heigl again. 3. James Franco. In 2017, Salma worked with James Franco on an independent, artsy project, the kind Franco is known for. But from day one, Salma sensed something was off. James came across as distant, sometimes arrogant, and didn't respect his co-star's personal space. In one intense scene where Franco's character had to yell at Salma, he went too far, actually shouting at her and grabbing her arm forcefully. The set fell silent. Salma asked to stop and went to her dressing room. Later, she told the director, who replied, "That's just how James works." Salma's response was, "Well, that's not how I work." She finished her scenes but requested not to be included in the press tour. Since then, whenever she's asked about Franco, she simply changes the subject. 4. Alec Baldwin. Salma Hayek has worked with many of Hollywood's biggest names, and in most cases, she's managed to build good relationships. But there are exceptions. One of the episodes that left the deepest mark on her happened during the filming of a romantic comedy in the late 2000s, where she co-starred with Alec Baldwin. The story was simple, a couple falling in love amid the chaos of New York City. But what seemed like it would be a light-hearted shoot quickly turned into a tense experience for Salma from day one. According to crew members, Alec would often arrive on set impatient and make jokes that, while they might have seemed harmless, carried an undertone of mockery. Several times he imitated Salma's accent, saying things like, "Say it again," but without the telenovela accent. The set went silent. Some gave awkward laughs. Others looked down. Salma didn't respond in the moment, but by the end of the day, she requested a meeting with production. She didn't demand he be removed or cause a scene. She simply made one thing clear: she would never again work with someone who disrespected her heritage. Since then, she's avoided any project involving Baldwin. Though she's never spoken publicly about the incident, those close to her say it was one of the most hurtful moments in her career. 5. Shia LaBeouf. Salma and Shia crossed paths in a psychological thriller in 2013. While they didn't share many scenes, they did have adjoining dressing rooms and rehearsals. Shia was going through a very unstable period with erratic and sometimes aggressive behavior. Once, when Salma greeted him warmly, he replied, "Who do you think you are? You're not the star here." It was an awkward moment for everyone present. From then on, Salma asked not to be considered for any project with him, whether big budget or independent. 6. Edward Norton. In 2004, Salma and Edward worked together on a historical drama. On screen, they seemed to have strong chemistry, but behind the scenes, the reality was different. Norton was known for being extremely controlling with scripts and direction, even when he wasn't producing. During filming, he tried to change several of Salma's key scenes without consulting her, and often argued with the director in front of the crew. Salma remained professional, but eventually began to feel invisible. One day, during a table read, Edward said, "This dialogue makes no sense. Who wrote this?" "You, Salma." She didn't reply, but her expression said it all. She finished the film without further open conflict, but has declined every offer to work with him again since. Cites Michael Fassbender. In 2018, Salma and Fassbender filmed an action movie that never made it to theaters. The production was chaotic, but the worst part was the lack of respect on set. Michael often joked around with the crew in a way that some technicians found borderline offensive. With Salma, he was especially distant and curt. He wouldn't rehearse with her, avoided eye contact during scenes, and once mocked her approach to character work, saying, "So much drama for a shoot-'em-up movie." She ignored him, but the lack of chemistry was obvious. After filming, Salma asked for her character to be re-edited to minimize their shared scenes. 8. Lena Headey. The two briefly worked together on a period drama series filmed in England. What seemed like a promising collaboration between two strong actresses quickly became a clash of styles. Lena is intense and highly focused on her work, but also very closed off when it comes to collaboration. According to the makeup team, she barely spoke to anyone and gave instructions as if she were the director. Salma was especially bothered by Lena's refusal to take suggestions, not from the director nor from her co-stars. During one scene, Salma suggested a slight change in the dialogue to make it feel more natural. Lena replied, "Can we just do what's written? I don't have time for theatrical improvisations." From that day on, Salma kept her distance. She wrapped her scenes and never mentioned the project again in interviews. 9. Josh Brolin. During a casting test for a Marvel project that ultimately fell through, Salma and Josh Brolin read several scenes together. While everything seemed professional at first, Salma noticed something off in his demeanor. According to a studio source, Josh seemed uncomfortable with Salma's ideas, frequently interrupted her, and avoided eye contact during their reads. In the hallway, he barely acknowledged her. At one point, he even joked to a producer, "Salma as a superhero? Are we sure about that?" The remark made its way back to her. She didn't make a scene, but withdrew from negotiations. Shortly after, she accepted another role in the Marvel Universe, playing Ajak in Eternals, with no connection to Brolin. Jashunta Tom Hardy. Salma and Tom shared a photo shoot for a luxury brand campaign in 2016. It wasn't a film, but it was an important project for an international label. According to the photography team, Tom came across as impatient, moody, and uninterested in engaging with others. During a break, Salma tried to lighten the mood with a joke. He looked at her and said coldly, "I'm not here to make friends." The shoot remained tense, and Salma requested to wrap earlier than scheduled. Since then, she's turned down any campaign that included him.